Hi guys! Welcome sa Engineered Math Channel. Sa video na to ay tuturo ko sa inyo ang proving trigonometric identities. So kung gusto nyo itong matutunan, just keep on watching. Okay, so ngayon ay ituturo ko sa inyo yung trigonometric identities. So, ano pa yung trigonometric identities? So, define muna natin kung ano yung identity itself. So, identity is an equation that is true for all values of the variables for which each member has defined finite values. So, ang identity daw ay isang equation kung saan kapag nag-substitute kayo ng value doon sa ginamit na variable sa equation, ay palaging true yung magiging equation nyo. Okay? So, sa trigonometric identities, magko-consider tayo ng trigonometric ratios or functions that have identities with other trigonometric functions. So, marami kasi tayong identities na mako-consider sa trigonometric functions. Pwede tayong magkaroon ng isang trigonometric functions and at the same time, i-represent ito sa another form niya which is equivalent pa rin sa kanya. So, they are identities. So, meron tayong tatlong categories na pwede nating magamit sa pagpuprove ng trigonometric identities. We have the reciprocal relations, pythagorean relations, as well as ratio relations. So, itong reciprocal relations ay, ito yung naturo ko na sa inyo, yung bawat reciprocal ng basic 3 trigonometric functions, yung sin theta, cosine theta, tan theta, which are respectively yung cosecant theta, secant theta, tsaka cot theta. So, di ba yung reciprocal ng sin theta is 1 over cosecant theta. Cosine theta, reciprocal nun is 1 over secant theta. Tan theta, yung reciprocal niya ay 1 over cotangent theta. Or in other form, pwede nyo pagbaliktarin, cosecant theta is 1 over sin theta, secant theta is 1 over cosine theta, cotangent theta is equal to 1 over tangent theta. So, manipulate nyo lang. As well as, yung product ng dalawang reciprocal functions na to ay laging 1. So, sin theta, cosecant theta equals 1, cosine theta times secant theta equals 1, and tan theta times cot theta equals 1. So, ito yung reciprocal identities, which is padali lang, di ba? Madaling tandaan. Next, we have the Pythagorean relations. So, itong Pythagorean relations, na-derive to, firstly, by using the concept of Pythagorean theorem. So, ito yung tatlong basic Pythagorean relations. So, yung pinakasikat, yung sin squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1, as well as 1 plus tan squared theta is equal to secant squared theta, and 1 plus cotangent squared theta is equal to cosecant squared theta. So, ito yung basic 3 Pythagorean relations na gamitin din kapag nagpo-prove tayo ng trigonometric identities. So, tandaan nyo itong tatlong to, okay? And then, last we have the ratio relations. So, sa ratio relations, dalawa lang naman sila. Wherein, makukuha natin yung relationships ng tangent theta sa sin tsaka cosine theta, which is yung ratio lang ng sin sa cosine, yung tangent theta. So, tangent theta is equal to sin theta over cosine theta. And then, yung cotangent theta, dahil reciprocal siya ng tan theta, ipabalik-tarin nyo lang yung sin tsaka cosine. So, magiging cotangent theta is cos theta over sin theta. So, ito lahat yung mga basic or fundamental identities na pwede natin gamitin para mag-prove ng trigonometric identities. So, madali lang naman silang kabisaduhin. So, once na nag-practice naman na kayang mag-prove ng trigonometric identities, ay makakabisado nyo na rin ito. So, with the use of these relations, trigonometric expressions can be written as a single or combination of other trigonometric functions. So, ngayon, mag-practice tayo mag-represent ng isang trigonometric function sa isang another required trigonometric ratio or function. So, let's have example number 1. Express the following trigonometric functions in terms of cosine theta. So, sabi, lahat daw ng mga functions na to, A, B, C, D, i-represent lang natin in terms of cosine theta. So, gagamitin natin yung trigonometric identities, yung fundamental identities. So, we have letter A, sin theta. So, dito, pwede natin gamitin yung Pythagorean relations. Yung sin squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. So, we can transpose cos squared theta sa right side. So, magiging sin squared theta equals 1 minus cos squared theta, and then square root natin both sides. So, we have sin theta is equal to plus minus square root of 1 minus cos squared theta. So, therefore, na-transform natin yung sin theta in terms of cosine theta na lang, which is plus minus square root of 1 minus cos squared theta. Next, we have tan theta. Okay, so this time, pwede natin gamitin dito yung ratio relations. Diba yung tan theta is equal sa sin theta over cosine theta. And then, etong sin theta dapat ma-represent uli natin in terms of cosine. So, pwede natin gamitin to. So, magiging plus minus square root of 1 minus cos squared theta over cosine theta. So, therefore, in terms of cosine theta na lang tong si tan theta. Okay? Next, we have secant theta. Okay, di ba yung secant theta, obviously, equal yun sa 1 over cosine theta, reciprocal identities. So, therefore, ito na yun kasi in terms of cosine theta na si secant theta. Next, we have cotangent theta. So, para lang din tong dun sa tan theta, wherein yung cot theta naman ay reciprocal niya. So, babalik na rin lang natin tong ratio. So, we have cos theta over sin theta. And then, itong sin theta, gagawin natin plus minus square root of 1 minus cos squared theta. Okay? So, therefore, in terms of cosine theta na lang si cotangent theta. Okay? Next, we have express cotangent theta in terms of secant theta. Okay, so, diba alam natin na yung cotangent theta ay equal siya sa 1 over tangent theta, reciprocal. Ngayon, itong tangent theta, pwede natin i-relate sa secant theta using Pythagorean relations, right? So, we have 1 plus tan squared theta is equal to secant squared theta, right? So, para masolve natin si tan theta dito, transpose natin si 1. So, we have tan squared theta is equal to secant squared theta minus 1. And then, square root both sides. So, tan theta is equal to plus minus square root of secant squared theta minus 1. Ngayon, pwede natin i-plug in na tong tan theta in terms of this secant theta dito para makuha na natin yung sagot. So, cotangent theta is equal to 1 over plus minus square root of secant squared theta minus 1. So, therefore, in terms of secant theta na lang si cotangent theta. Okay? Next, we have express sin theta, cosine theta in terms of cosecant theta. Okay, so express daw natin si sin theta, cosine theta in terms of cosecant theta. So, dito muna tayo sa sin theta. Di ba pwede natin yung i-represent as 1 over cosecant theta, right? Tapos itong cosine theta, pwede natin uli i-represent in terms of sin theta, and then yung sin theta uli gawin natin in terms of cosecant theta using reciprocal. So, di ba yung cosine theta, pwede natin ma-represent in terms of sine by using Pythagorean relations ulit. So, di ba sin squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. So, at this time, transpose natin si sin theta dito. So, we have cos squared theta equals 1 minus sin squared theta. And then, square root both sides, we have cos theta is equal to plus minus square root of 1 minus sin squared theta. So, therefore, we can write cosine theta as plus minus square root of 1 minus sin squared theta. And then, itong sin squared theta nga, pwede uli natin gawing 1 over cosecant theta. So, we have 1 over cosecant theta times plus minus square root of 1 minus 1 over cosecant squared theta. Right? And then, simplify natin. 1 over cosecant theta times plus minus 1 minus 1 over cosecant squared theta. Distribute natin yung exponent. Then, gawin natin single fraction. So, 1 over cosecant theta times plus minus square root of cosecant squared theta tapos cosecant squared theta minus 1. Okay? Then, paghiwalayin natin. So, 1 over cosecant theta times plus minus square root of cosecant squared theta minus 1 over cosecant squared theta square root. So, ito, makakalabas si cosecant theta, magiging 1 over cosecant theta times plus minus square root of cosecant squared theta minus 1 over cosecant theta. So we have plus minus square root of cosecant squared theta minus 1 over cosecant theta times cosecant theta is cosecant squared theta. So therefore, na-represent na natin in terms of cosecant theta itong sin theta, cosine theta. Okay? Now, dumako na tayo sa pagpo-prove mismo ng identities. So, here are some suggestions kapag magpo-prove tayo ng identities. So, the simplest method of proving a trigonometric identity is to substitute proper definitions, relations, or ratios for the functions and reduce the expressions into simplified form. So, gagamitin nga natin yung lahat ng mga fundamental identities na na-discuss natin kanina dito. And then, simplify lang natin. Next, one must be familiar with the fundamental trigonometric identities. Okay, so kailangan kabisado na natin yon, yung mga fundamental trigonometric identities. Then, keep in mind the expression which you are working with and choose the most appropriate identities. So, dapat, ahead of proving, dapat na nakikita nyo yung magiging kakalabasang final trigonometric ratios which is dapat maging equal doon sa pinoprove nyo. Okay? Next, it is usually more convenient to reduce the more complicated side of the identity to the simpler side. Dapat, kapag mag-prove kayo ng trigonometric identities, check nyo kung anong mas komplikadong side, kung left hand ba o yung right hand side ba ng equation. So, dapat yung isi-simplify yung side ay yung mas komplikado, dapat mapalabas nyo na equal doon sa less complicated side. Okay? Next, introduction of radical expression must be avoided whenever possible. So, iwasan daw natin yung mga radical expression, particularly kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng mga pythagorean relations. So, iwasan natin i-represent yun using radicals. Okay? So, ngayon, mag-solve tayo ng certain examples ng proving identities para ma-illustrate ko sa inyo. Okay? So, for the first example, we have prove secant theta is equal to tangent theta plus cosine theta over 1 plus sine theta. Okay, so, since yung left side of the equation is secant theta lang, which is a single trigonometric ratio or function, tapos yung right side ay complicated ones kasi meron tayong sum of two trigonometric functions. So, ito yung simplify natin. So, ang hint natin as much as possible, pwede nating i-represent muna yung bawat trigonometric functions or equation in trigonometric expressions into sine or cosine. So, try natin yon. So, itong tan theta gawin natin sine theta over cosine theta. Tapos, copy natin tong cosine theta 1 plus sine theta. Ngayon, pagsamahin natin into single fraction. Ang LCD nito ay cosine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Okay? So, apply natin yung pag-a-add ng fraction. So, cosine theta times 1 plus sine theta divided by cosine theta is 1 plus sine theta. Then, multiplied by sine theta, we have sine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Plus, cosine theta times quantity 1 plus sine theta divided by 1 plus sine theta is cosine theta. Tapos, times sa cosine theta is cosine squared theta. Okay? Tapos, distribute natin tong sine. So, sine theta plus sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta over cos theta times 1 plus sine theta. Okay? Mapapansin nyo, sa numerator, meron tayong sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta. Applying Pythagorean relations, di ba equal yun sa 1? So, substitute natin. Sine theta plus ito, gagawin natin 1 over cosine theta times 1 plus sine theta. So, mapapansin nyo, nagkaroon kayo sa numerator ng sine theta plus 1, tapos, pwede nyo itong makancel dito sa denominator na 1 plus sine theta. So, commutative property, equal lang naman sila. So, cancel natin to. So, magiging 1 over cosine theta na lang. So, therefore, di ba itong 1 over cosine theta by applying reciprocal identity, equal yan saan? Secant theta. So, therefore, na-prove na natin yung trigonometric identities na yung secant theta is equal sa tangent theta plus cosine theta over 1 plus sine theta. Okay? Next, we have prove secant theta minus cosecant theta over secant theta plus cosecant theta equals tangent theta minus 1 over tangent theta plus 1. Okay, so anong side yung isi-simplify natin para i-verify na equal yon sa other side? So obviously, pareho naman silang complicated. Pero I think mas complicated tong left side kasi meron tayong 4 na trigonometric functions. Ito kasi tangent theta lang tsaka 1. So, ito yung simplify natin. So, again, represent muna natin in terms of cosine and sine function. So, yung second theta, reciprocal siya ng cosine. So, we have 1 over cosine theta minus yung cosecant theta, reciprocal siya ng sine theta. So, we have 1 over sine theta. All over. So, ganun pa rin, second theta, 1 over cosine theta plus yung cosecant theta, 1 over sine theta pa rin. Okay, so complex fraction siya. Ngayon, napapansin nyo, itong right side, kailangan nating magkaroon ng tangent theta. Another technique ay pwede tayong mag-multiply both numerator and denominator ng same trigonometric function kasi equal lang naman yun sa 1. And then, pag ginawa natin yun, ay pwede tayong mag-arrive doon sa gusto nating maging kalabasan base dito sa right side. So, kung mag-multiply tayo both numerator and denominator ng sin theta, diba, i-distribute natin siya dito. Itong first trigonometric function, which is 1 over cosine theta, magiging sin theta over cosine theta. So, tan theta na siya. Tama? Tapos, itong 1 over sin theta, magiging sin theta over sin theta, which is 1. So, minus 1. So, tama. Right? Then, dito sa denominator, ganun din. Sin theta over cosine theta, tangent theta pa rin. So, tama. And then, ito, 1 over sin theta times sin theta is 1. So, therefore, plus 1. So, therefore, pwede itong technique na gagawin natin. Multiply natin both numerator and denominator by sin theta over sin theta. So, we have sin theta over cosine theta minus sin theta over sin theta all over sin theta over cosine theta plus sin theta over sin theta. So, we have tangent theta nga, minus 1 over tangent theta plus 1. So, therefore, na-prove na natin yung identity. Okay? Next, we have prove cosine theta, cotangent theta minus sin theta, tangent theta over cosecant theta minus secant theta is equal to 1 plus sin theta cosine theta. Okay, so obviously, itong left side yung complicated. So, ito yung simplify natin. So, try natin i-represent lahat ng trigonometric functions or ratio in terms of sine and cosine theta. So, we have cosine theta, yung cot theta equal yan sa cosine theta over sine theta minus sine theta, yung tan theta equal sa sine theta over cosine theta all over, yung cosecant theta equal siya sa 1 over sine theta minus yung secant theta equal sa 1 over cosine theta. So, simplify further, we have, so multiply natin tong cosine theta. So, cosine squared theta over sine theta minus ito rin, magiging sine squared theta over cosine theta all over. So, ito, pwede natin gawing single fraction. So, LCD is sine theta cosine theta. Then, sine theta cosine theta divided by sine theta is cosine theta times 1 cosine theta. Minus, and then sin theta, cosine theta divided by cosine theta is sin theta times 1 is sin theta. Okay? Tapos itong numerator, gawin din natin single fraction. So, LCD din nila is sin theta, cosine theta. So, sin theta, cosine theta divided by sin theta is cosine theta times cosine squared theta is cosine cube theta. Minus, sin theta cosine theta divided by cosine theta is sin theta times sin squared theta is sin cube theta all over cosine theta minus sin theta over sin theta cosine theta. So, magiging ano yan? Cosecant cube theta minus sin cube theta over sin theta cosine theta times, i-reciprocal natin tong denominator, di ba? Sin theta cosine theta over cos theta minus sin theta. So, makakancel natin to. And then, ito, pwede natin itong i-factor using difference of two cubes. So, magiging cos theta minus sin theta times cos squared theta plus cos theta sin theta plus sin squared theta over cos theta minus sin theta. So, ang ginamit ko dito yung x cubed minus y cubed is equal to x squared plus xy plus y squared, Okay? Difference of two cubes. So, ngayon, makakancel natin to, yung cosine theta minus sin theta. So, magiging cos squared theta plus cosine theta sin theta plus sin squared theta. Ngayon, itong cos squared theta plus sin squared theta, saan yan equal? Sa 1, di ba? Pythagorean relation. So, we have 1 plus cos theta sin theta. So, therefore, na-prove natin na equal siya dito sa 1 plus sin theta cosine theta. Okay? Next, we have prove tan squared theta plus 1 over tan theta cosecant squared theta equals tan theta. Okay, so since mas complicated itong left side, simplify natin siya. So, yung tan squared theta plus 1, equal yun saan? Pythagorean relations, right? Secant squared theta. Over, itong tan theta, pwede natin i-represent using sin theta over cosine theta. Times, itong cosecant squared theta, pwede natin i-represent as 1 over sin squared theta, right? And then, itong secant squared theta, represent uli natin as cosine theta. So, 1 over cosine squared theta over, so dito makakancel natin yung isang sin theta, right? So, magiging 1 over cos theta sin theta. Okay, tapos gawin natin 1 over cos squared theta times reciprocal nito, cosine theta sin theta over 1. And then, makakancel natin yung isang cosine. So, magiging sin theta over cosine theta na lang, which is equal sa tangent theta. Okay? So, therefore, na-prove na natin yung identity. Next, we have prove cosecant theta plus 1 over cosecant theta minus 1 is equal to secant theta plus tangent theta quantity squared. Okay, so minsan, meron tayong techniques kung saan sinisimplify natin both sides of the equation para in terms of, let's say, sine and cosine function at kino-compare natin kung mag-i-equal ba sila. So, kapag nag-equal sila, then identity sila. Kasi minsan mahirap i-represent exactly yung isang side of the equation doon sa other side. So, pwede ring isimplify mo yung bawat sides in terms of sine or cosine at kung nagpareho sila, then consider silang identity. So, try natin yung ganun technique dito. So, i-represent natin both sides in terms of sine or cosine. So, itong cosecant theta, equal yan sa 1 over sin theta, then plus 1 over cosecant theta uli, 1 over sin theta minus 1. So, we have single fraction. So, sin theta yung denominator dito. So, magiging sin theta divided by sin theta is 1 times 1 is 1 plus sin theta divided by parang over 1 to, diba? Sin theta divided by 1 is sin theta times 1 is sin theta. All over, ganun din dito. So, we have sin theta divided by sin theta is 1 times 1 is 1. Ito over 1 din. Sin theta divided by 1 is sin theta times 1 is minus 1. So, parang makakancel natin to, di ba? So, magiging 1 plus sin theta over 1 minus, dapat ito ay sin theta. So, ito yung kinalabasan ng left side. So, dapat ganito rin yung kalalabasan ng right side pag sinimplify natin. So, itong secant squared theta plus tan squared theta. So, represent natin itong secant theta at saka tangent theta in terms of sine and cosine din. So, parang 1 over cosine theta plus sine theta over cosine theta quantity squared. Okay, then pagsamahin natin into single fraction, we have LCD is cosine theta. So, we have 1 plus sine theta sa numerator. Similar, fraction naman sila. Same sila na cosine theta yung denominator. So, add lang natin. And then, distribute natin yung exponent na 2. So, 1 plus sine theta quantity squared over cosine squared theta. Okay? Ngayon, pwede nating i-represent itong cosine squared theta as what? 1 minus sine squared theta, right? Yung Pythagorean relation. So, we have 1 plus sine theta quantity squared over 1 minus sine squared theta. Okay? And then, pwede natin itong i-factor using difference of two squares. So, 1 plus sine theta quantity squared over 1 minus sine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Yung x squared minus y squared is equal to x plus y times x minus y. Right? Tapos, makakancel natin yung isang 1 plus sine theta. Matitira is 1 plus sine theta sa numerator over sa denominator 1 minus sine theta. So, therefore, equal nga sila. Okay, so therefore, identity yung given problem natin kasi nag-equal sila after nating ma-simplify both sides of the equation in terms of sine or cosine. Okay? Okay, so I think that's it for this video. So, sa pagpuprove ng identities, tandaan nyo lang na dapat kabisado nyo yung mga fundamental identities at magaling kayong mag-manipulate ng equations like yung simplification of algebraic expressions kasi apply nyo yun kapag sinasimplify nyo na yung trigonometric function sa isang identity. So, practice lang kayo para mas masanay kayo sa pagpuprove ng trigonometric identities. So, sana ay may natutunan kayo sa video na to at maraming salamat sa panonood.